Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ango Show. My name is Ango. I'm joined by Billy TKO, and today is May 7th, 2025. Obviously, yesterday was NXT, an outstanding episode of NXT, by the way. Definitely a lot to uncover there. This is probably going to transform into a lot of random wrestling talk, so I'm super excited about it. Um, Obviously, there is a lot to discuss, and I appreciate all of you guys being here and joining us. We do have our super chat goal active. If you guys want to help contribute to the show, consider dropping a super chat on the stream. It guarantees that your questions, your comments, your takes, your opinions, it guarantees that they will be featured on the show. We'll respond to them accordingly. And I just want to say thank you, obviously, to everybody joining us today. Couple things, just a couple notes that I want to make. Um, Obviously, I've been talking to Billy, and you guys might have noticed that Phil is not joining us today. You guys may have noticed that things are going to probably be changing with the live streaming, not the schedule, but the way that we produce the show. And there's a lot of kinks, a lot of things that I'm trying to do really to nail it. I've been super excited. Since February, we have been very consistent for the most part on delivering you guys a live experience, but I do feel like the live experience could be a little bit better.
For sure.
So I definitely want to make some changes. There are some changes that will be coming. I don't have a timetable, but I just want to let you guys know it is something behind the scenes that I am working on. Because again, I want the Ango show to be massive, bro. I want this live stream stuff to be just next level
For sure,
from
bro.
from the way it looks, from the way we do things. So I do appreciate your guys' patience because as you guys noticed, we did start off a few minutes late, and I'm really excited. Eventually, what I think will happen long term is you guys won't just see Billy and Phil, but you guys will see other people from time to time. There might be 4 or 5 people at once. There might just be me at once. There might be 2 people. I have a lot of ideas, and the ideas that I have, I think, are going to be really awesome. But of course, that's kind of why we're late, because we're trying things before we go live to see if it'll work, and then obviously it may not work, and we don't want to do that. So I apologize for being a few minutes late. Billy, last night was NXT.
Yep.
Super exciting of an episode for me personally. I don't think it gets any better than what we saw last night.
No.
And obviously I'll uncover why. But what was your reaction? I know you were obviously doing your watch along last night.
Yeah.
Really curious to see what you got to say.
Dude, I thought the show overall was really, really good. I thought it was shocking to see somebody like Miles Bourne pick up a victory. Obviously that's a guy who's kind of been on the rise in NXT recently. It was a needed kind of shakeup for the heavyweight division in NXT. Obviously seeing Jordan Grace beat Julia clean, that was a wow, right? I figured there would be some kind of shenanigans involved, but they didn't do that. And then obviously the Trick Williams, Joe Hendry story. That's a great story that's being told right now. We get an announcement that a TNA belt is going to be defended at a WWE PLE. So, I mean, just a lot to talk about today, just a lot to unpack. Overall, a really good show. I give it like an 8 out of 10. I thought it hit where it needed to hit. You know what I mean? So, big fan.
Yeah, I'm giving NXT 10 big booms, baby.
10 big
Honestly.
booms.
I really feel like last night was a perfect show. I know a lot of people in the chat are mentioning Julia. Tolino Channel actually kicks things off today with the super chat for 100 rupees, and he says the moment Julia's head spiked on the mat, the whole match changed. I literally forgot the match is under WWE banner. That Julia chant from the crowd. Yeah, it was crazy because a lot of people are talking about the Julia situation. Jordan Grace and Julia did not have a WWE style match.
Not at
This
all.
was like G1 Climax, New Japan Pro Wrestling, just like strong
Gritty
style.
wrestling.
Yeah, very, very gritty. There was 2 moments actually where Jordan Grace delivered 2 maneuvers to Julia in which she landed on her head. I was shocked. I can genuinely say I was definitely shocked to see the kind of match that they had. And then, of course, you have the face off with Stephanie Vakir and Jordan Grace, which will be taking place at Battleground.
Yep.
Um, First, I just want to say there had been reports and clarification that after the match, Julia was 100% fine. Um, WWE is not going to allow them to have this kind of match and just like on their own accord, right? Like they're going to go out there and they're going to have that match because WWE producers and WWE specifically is letting them have that kind of match.
Yes, like they didn't walk out there and just have that match with no supervision beforehand to tell them like, you guys are good or you're not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this was holy shit. This was one of those things, man, where like I just didn't expect it. You know, it's one thing like WWE style matches are completely fine for me, right? And
For
I always
sure.
say it's like the storytelling and everything matters the most. Um, but when you do go and bring the next level of wrestling skill inside the ring, like it's
Mm-hmm.
cool to see. And they definitely delivered um an incredible match. And listen, like for me, I think Billy, maybe you have a different opinion on this, but I think this is the kind of stuff that ultimately the most hardcore AEW fans genuinely, if they were to watch this, they would be drawn back into NXT again.
Well, okay, here's the thing, and this is kind of what I was gonna say, right? Is a lot of people have kind of gave WWE their slander is that they don't go out there and actually wrestle, right? Like they go out there and they tell the story, and then the wrestling match isn't really good. The only time you see like a good wrestling match is potentially on a PLE or whatever. This kind of blemishes that argument, right?
Yeah.
Of like, no, that's not the case. A good wrestling match, those quote unquote 5-star classics, they don't have to be every match. They don't have to be every other match. They
Yeah.
don't have to be every episode. It's when it's warranted. We obviously know that Julia and Jordan Grace is a big match, and we know their background, right? We
Yeah.
know where they come from. We know that they're talented. So WWE allowed them to showcase that talent because it was warranted. These two wrestlers have been on the verge of, coming to this collision course together for so long. And finally, WWE gives you it. They put on a legitimate banger of a match, and then people will still go out there and try to find an excuse for it. And it's like, no, man, like it's just not warranted every episode for those 5-star bangers. I don't need them all the time. Sometimes I just need good story. Sometimes I need good wrestling.
Yeah. And it's cool too because I think I saw somebody in the chat mention it. They're like, I was expecting Roxanne shenanigans, which very fair, right? If you're
So was I.
watching,
Yeah, so was
yeah,
I.
like if you're watching, that was kind of expected. But it seemed like Shawn Michaels and the company was like, yo, go out there and show the world what you can do.
For sure.
And dude, it was just such a great match. And what a way, you know, Julia is obviously not going to be in NXT much longer. She's busy on Raw. So this is her just kind of giving back. And I like that too, because it's like, okay, cool. We don't need to have Julia there forever. We don't need that. You know,
No,
she
no.
goes out there, has this banger of a match. And for all the nerds that love using cage match to determine whether a match is good or bad, well, it has like a 9.03 rating. Like it is incredibly high rated. So a lot of people were actually taken back a little bit yesterday because it wasn't expected. And yes, you're right. If they do this every match, every episode, all the damn time, it does not feel as special. But when you watch the entire episode of NXT last night, everything was just clicking from stories to matches. Like it
Yeah,
was a
for
very,
sure.
very well produced, cohesive show. And then you get to that match and you're like, damn, this is a treat. And that's a good feeling, bro.
It is, especially as a watcher of NXT. It's not every time that you go out there and you expect that. And then when they give it to you at this time and you're like, okay, like you said, this is very much a treat. I appreciate you for doing this.
Yeah, 100%. Tolino Channel actually followed up with that super chat with another one for 100 rupees. And he says, the Battle Royale mixing Evolve, LFG, TNA, NXT was spot on. It's crowded, but Shiloh, Legacy, Inamura,
Mm.
Javon all topped. Also, some storyline plotting. So This was wow. Wow. I am not that big of a fan of battle royal matches. And ever since Triple H took over the WWE, the Royal Rumble matches, in my opinion, have been way better. Battle Royal matches have been way better. And then we get this Battle Royal. And 1000%, I just cannot hide it, bro. I was all in on this match from beginning to end. And it was so funny because there is a name that Tolino Channel mentioned.
And I
And
think I know who you're going to talk about.
Shawn Legacy is
bro.
a fucking stud, bro. Stud.
Bro, I mean,
stud.
Here's my thing. I watched the first episode of Evolve, right? Yeah. I was kind of skeptical on it. You know what I mean? After what I witnessed last night, and I'm willing to go on record and say this, you know, I keep up with AEW as much as I can, and I, stay in contact with it, and I know the things that are going on. But after what I seen Shawn Legacy do, and then obviously guys like Swipe Right as well, right? Like seeing them being involved. It makes me, again, this is WWE doing a really good job at making me feel like, all right, I need to go watch this. I need to see what they're doing down there. Yeah. I want to know more about Shawn Legacy. And that's what I'm going to do. So tonight, what is it? 8 to 9, 9 to 10?
8 to 9.
8 to 9. I'm going to spend some time and I'm going to watch Evolve. I want to learn more. They got me. The guy's a stud. What I witnessed with him and Javon Evans, dude, amazing work. And
incredible.
That little spot in the rope.
Oof.
Come on, man.
You know, it's so funny because battle royals, and I do like the fact that WWE has been a lot better about making things matter in the battle royals, right?
Yeah.
So when you watch this and you see Shawn Legacy and Javon Evans, right? They have that spot. Javon Evans hits the bottom rope, bounces back in, does the German suplex. You got Shawn Legacy doing a big boot and all these different moves, like all these different sequences. It didn't feel crazy, but then stories were developing in this match as well. So it was like, man, you got the good in-ring action. Then you got the storylines being plotted. Inamura accidentally took out Josh Briggs. Come to find out later on in the episode, Inamura is leaving NXT to go back to Pro Wrestling Noah, which is fine. You know, he did his excursion. It was cool. But like they did a lot of stuff in this match that was just really outstanding. And before we even talk about the winner, having LFG and Evolve in this battle royal was such a great idea. Like, hats off to WWE, because this is one of those things, I swear, like, I'm just being so honest. This was one of those things where WWE put people on the map last night.
Yeah. Oh, dude, and they did a great job at it too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They really did. That was WWE really helping themselves in the long run. Because again, there's people like me who, I'm not saying this for clicks. So that's not what this is for. I'm saying it because I genuinely want to go watch what Shawn Legacy is doing. I really enjoyed that guy last night. Like I can't stress it enough. I knew nothing about these gentlemen. I don't know much about Swipe Right, but I really enjoy them. Timothy Thatcher. I was like, oh my God, Timothy Thatcher's back?
Yeah.
Bro, I'm
sitting because you don't watch Evolve, bro.
No, dude. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, all right, now you got me hooked. I'm coming back. I'm in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think WWE really is helping themselves in the long run because WWE asks you to watch a lot of TV. They really do. But when they give it to me like this, I feel like I'm willing to give my time more under the basis that things are being given to me at the rate that I like them. Whether that be story, whether that be wrestling, it doesn't really matter. I don't know. Very, very, very enjoyable battle royal. And I also love seeing Zachary Wentz and Wesley on my TV.
Yeah, and so let's talk about this, right? Like when you watch this battle royal, first of all, it's commentary's job to explain who everybody is. For example, you got Elijah in the match. Elijah representing TNA, formerly known as Elias. Cool.
Yeah.
Big pop, big moment, right? Then you have your guys from LFG. You have Shiloh Hill in the match, who, by the way, gets a pretty nice elimination in the match, right?
Yeah.
So as these things happen, and you know, you got your TNA guys, you got Evolve, you got LFG, you also have commentary explaining throughout the match who these people are.
Mhm.
And then what was really nice about this too was, you know, and it does fall back on Shawn Legacy, but anybody who's been watching Evolve knows the kind of skill set these people possess, right? If you watch WWE LFG, you kind of know what these people possess as far as skills go.
Mhm.
Now you're seeing them mix it up with the NXT guys. Oh, by the way, you're also watching them mix it up with guys from TNA.
Absolutely.
So now the selling point is like relatively better because I saw Shawn Legacy on Evolve. Now I saw Shawn Legacy in this match. Dude, I want to see Shawn Legacy get called up to NXT
as
right
soon
away.
as possible.
However, tonight there's a major announcement from Stevie Turner on Evolve. So for those who don't know, if you watch Evolve on Tubi tonight, there's a major announcement. And I believe, based on information that I heard a while ago that I was talking about in videos, is the fact that Evolve is launching their championship belts.
Oh.
And so I believe tonight's episode of Evolve will in fact be the title belt.
So all I'm hearing is I'm picking a good night.
So here's the thing though. If WWE, which by the way, these belts, if they look good, right? First and foremost, congratulations, because everybody knows the one thing that gets people talking on the internet is good looking title belt reveals.
For sure.
When TNA did it, everybody, I actually never saw one person negatively talk bad about TNA's new belts. Everybody was like, damn, they're good. Same thing with AEW, right? AEW's new belts. Wow, these look good. WWE new belts. Wow, they look good.
Right.
If Evolve is dropping the new belts today, have Shawn Legacy go for the world championship. And then after that performance, yes, you give him the belt. And then I want to start seeing the Evolve championship belts on NXT.
Moving around.
Move it around. Take it to Evolve. Take it on the indies. I know they have the WWE ID championship stuff that they're doing, but dude, this is different now. We saw some guys on Evolve. You know, this is perfect. You give them, hey, listen, we're talking about Shawn Legacy versus Javon Evans, right? This is a potential matchup people want to see now. We know Javon Evans could wrestle. We may have not known Shawn Legacy before Evolve, but now it's like, okay, people were reacting well to it. Maybe Shawn Michaels and WWE say, listen, man, let's, you know, once we figure the title belt scene out, hey, there are some guys we should have from NXT go down to Evolve for a championship match.
Yep.
You know, and then eventually it just becomes a thing where Evolve continues to grow and shine. And that to me is the beautiful thing. And that's why I'm like super excited about Evolve tonight, because I've been watching and I've been enjoying it. But okay, now this is where the show starts to probably improve, because with championship belts, with championship belts, you got new stories and stuff. So and then you see the performances last night of everybody, and you're like, okay, cool. Hey, listen, maybe Javon Evans can't be NXT champion right now. That's okay. But maybe we can have Javon Evans win the Evolve championship from Shawn Legacy when the time comes. And then eventually you put him over and Shawn Legacy gets back into the NXT.
Yeah, dude. For sure. Love it.
Definitely a lot more to talk about with this Battle Royal. But Phil dropped a $9.99 super chat. He says, think about it. We had the best Andre the Giant Battle Royal in the history of that match. And now this Battle Royal, I was drawn to Legacy immediately. And he showed out. Him in the final four meant something. But you know what stood out to me a little bit more than Shawn Legacy?
What's that?
Miles frickin' Bourne.
You mean Randy Orton?
Ooh, this kid is... I have been so happy, and this is why I just love NXT so much, bro. This is why I love watching these guys before they're famous and before they're well-known.
Yeah.
Before they get that big push. Miles Bourne is so freaking talented, and I love the no quarter catch crew. But I love nothing more than seeing Ethan Page and Shawn Spears being eliminated and Miles Bourne winning.
I mean, talk about a kid who deserves it, man. Just excited to see it.
Dude.
Dude, when he started doing the Randy Orton the
Yeah.
suplex or whatever. Dude, when I was seeing that, I'm like, "Oh my god, this is just Randy's it might as well be Randy's kid." All those memes that are on there, it is the dude, like I maybe I just never paid like that much attention to him in particular to actually sit up, look and be like, "Yo, like this guy really is Randy." You know what I'm saying? Like I see what people are talking about.
Yeah.
And the jokes that they make, dude, in the backstage area, I can't believe it.
Well, it's funny too because he wins the match, and then Charlie Dempsey was like, he made that comment of like, "Oh, now I'm gonna verse Obafemi,"
Right, because
and
I
Miles
won.
Miles is like, I might be hard of hearing, but
And then
um,
what's her name looks at him and she goes, "Oh no, he just said like you have good selective hearing."
yeah, dude. Listen, Miles Bourne winning was listen. I love this. I love this. This is what wrestling should be, bro. And this is what NXT was founded on. Like Miles Bourne winning the battle royal is a very, very interesting decision because he is not the biggest name. He hasn't broken away from his group, but this is a kid. And I think WWE is sending a message, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe chat will disagree, but I think WWE is truly sending a message. This past week, after all the releases, the
Mhm.
narrative that has come out online is that people who are lazy are not sticking around.
For sure.
WWE is
Yeah.
not like WWE is looking for people to put in that actual effort.
Mhm.
And obviously, we have known for about a couple weeks now that Miles Bourne's been in line for a push. Nobody expected this to be the situation. A lot of people were thinking maybe North American Championship. But I think they sent a message to the world. If you put in the work and if you grind, we will reward.
I was about to say you're gonna be rewarded for it.
And I think Miles Bourne is it's very clear. This kid is putting in the work. From the time that he first showed up in WWE to the point of like, okay, he's just another body.
Yeah.
Now it is, hey, this kid is really talented. And I understand that maybe some people do have, they have their reservations. Oh, how can he cut promos?
Mhm.
He is, he's got the disability, but I don't care about any of that, bro. Like this kid is so talented. Where like, yeah, he is partly deaf, but he still comes out there and still has all this amazing charisma.
And understands like dude, his movements, like the way he moves in the ring.
Yeah,
I don't know. That to me says something. If you can move well in the ring and you know where your spots are supposed to be,
yeah,
like that to me means something. And dude, he just fully understands it. When I tell you I'm genuinely happy for Miles Bourne
yeah.
and like genuinely happy for his success. Now, obviously, I don't think he's going to beat Obafemi. I'm just going to be real there.
I think he should.
He absolutely should. If you want to create a up and coming star quick, that's how you do it. But I don't think he will.
You don't think so at all, huh?
No. And hopefully I eat these words.
I would love nothing more than for this kid to win.
Oh, me either, bro. I mean that wholeheartedly. I'd love to see him win. I really would. I just don't see it.
So I want to read on March 17, 2022, Miles Bourne was announced among a class of recruits who reported to the WWE Performance Center to begin training with WWE.
Mm-hmm.
He appeared on Level Up, which is actually funny because I remember when he lost on Level Up, and I thought, man, like this kid, there's something about this kid that's like cool, but he lost on NXT Level Up,
Right.
and then he basically stayed in Level Up for about a year or two, and then he lost to Eddie Thorpe on the NXT debut. So this was a kid who didn't even really have, he didn't have a professional wrestling background prior to WWE.
Yeah. He didn't. Hold on. My bad. They're gifting me over here on TikTok.
Oh, go ahead. Shout out your TikTok.
Yeah, I'm live over on TikTok, and I just want to say I appreciate you guys for all the roses and stuff. That's very nice of you guys. But I didn't know that he didn't have an actual legitimate wrestling background
Yeah.
prior to. I had no idea.
Ain't that crazy?
It is. It is. And now he just is ultimately getting compared to Randy Orton every time he talks.
I think that is crazy.
Oh, dude, I just seen you join my TikTok.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, man?
Nice up, bud. The comparisons to Randy Orton are funny because he's bald, got tattoos, and then obviously he plays in with the scoop slam or whatever, power slam.
Yeah.
The funniest thing about Miles Bourne, by the way, I remember watching a video of him doing like the taunt, the Randy Orton taunt.
Right.
It's kind of hard to get it all in frame, but Randy Orton walks backstage and sees him doing it and then helps him adjust it, and then he's like, "You got it, kid." And so obviously there is a little bit of influence. You see, he's got the Randy Orton drop kick, the power slam.
Yep.
I see somebody in the chat no longer naming names anymore because I just know it's a troll. But
yeah, bro, it's for sure a troll at this point.
Calling him a Temu version of Kyle Fletcher is crazy because Kyle Fletcher is a Temu version of Randy Orton. All three guys are incredibly talented on their own, but if you really want to push the tribalism here, that's exactly what you're gonna get. Can't call him Temu Kyle Fletcher when Kyle Fletcher is Temu Randy Orton as well, bro. By the way, all these fucking wrestlers in 2025 are all inspired by some wrestler that came before them. So I just wanted to make that really clear.
Love the good old trolls.
Yeah. Shout out to Phil, by the way, for the super chat. Tolino Channel coming through with a super chat for 100 rupees. He says, I think Miles will take Oba to a ride. He won't win, but will gain the respect of the champ. Also, Charlie needs a serious feud. I know. What's the likelihood that they have Miles Bourne actually beat Oba Femi?
I mean, it's pro wrestling. You have to live in the world of 50-50, right?
Yeah.
The actual likelihood of him winning for me is just not there. I don't necessarily see it. It is obviously a 50-50 thing, but I think Oba is just, he's the guy, right?
Yeah.
He's the guy that they want to continue to push. I'll go as far as saying this, and this may be a hot take. Oba may hold this championship until he gets called up. And there's no time frame on that yet. Nobody knows when that's happening. That could be a year from now. And I think he will hold it up until that point. So we're looking at a potential year run with Oba as this champion. Potentially. I'm not saying that's facts or anything like that.
No, I think that's very possible. I don't want to see that be the case because
I don't either.
I'm tired of these world championship reigns that take forever to get the belt off of them.
Yeah.
Which is why I would love them to really shock the world and have Miles Bourne win. Honest to God, have Miles Bourne win.
Shock the
have
world.
Him beat Oba and just call up Oba. Let him get drafted. There's no reason. Oba doesn't need to be in NXT much longer.
He doesn't. He is one of those guys who, if we're gonna do it, let's call him up now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's this to me feels like grassroots back in the day NXT developmental. And it's like, dude, change the whole world with this because listen, Charlie Dempsey is ready for the main roster too. Charlie Dempsey doesn't need to be in NXT. Let's break them away. Let's have
and
Charlie
I think
Dempsey
that's what they may be doing.
I don't even think the word may qualifies here. I think that it's exactly what they're doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
I mean, look at it. Charlie is already in this situation where he's claiming that he's going to go fight against Oba Femi.
Yeah. He just, selective hearing. It's not the best.
I don't know, man. I'm ready for this. I think he should win. I think Miles Bourne should win.
I do too, man. I'm fully behind that take. I'm not against it. Right.
I will say this though, and maybe you'll kind of agree or disagree. I'm not really sure, but I think you could even have Miles Bourne lose, but be the guy that's like, bro, he pushes Oba Femi so much to the limit that Oba Femi only retains on
it's like by a thread.
Barely.
Because
barely. Like pure luck.
yes, you can look at this match as a way for Oba to be more human, right?
Yeah.
Because he's going to overlook Miles, right? He's going to
Yeah.
completely overlook him, not take him serious. You know what I mean? I don't hate that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Literally have Oba win by like the stretch of a hair. Count me in for that.
I swear I wouldn't be mad about it. I swear I honestly wouldn't
I
be
wouldn't
mad
either.
about it.
I would not either.
I'm super excited about this, man. This was like a holy shit. And the whole battle royal was just so good. But then Miles Bourne taking out Ethan Page and Shawn Spears, which by the way, I want to give credit to Shawn Spears because if you look at Shawn Spears, and he's very happy being back in WWE. This is what
For
he wants
sure.
to do. He works backstage, but he's also working with the future of the business. I think deep down inside last night, when you see Shawn Spears get eliminated and he's in the ring with some of these guys in the ring, I guarantee you, man, this dude probably walked backstage and was like, damn,
Yeah. Oh,
this
for
was it.
sure. For sure.
So good, bro.
I love
So
it.
freaking good.
NXT is awesome, man.
Yeah, I just
I have to say before we move on real fast,
yeah,
just the Anamura Josh Briggs storyline I'm so invested in.
bro. I felt a little emotion to it.
Dude, so did I. He was like, man, like going back to Japan. I was like, no, bro.
I haven't been the best partner for you. I talked to Ava and I'm going back to Japan. Like, damn, bro.
Yeah, bro. That's what I was sitting there. I was like, no, bro, don't go.
He was great. The fact that they allowed him to come into NXT and be part of the tag team division and do cool things with Josh Briggs, I thought was so cool. And then what was actually really nice too about that segment, because he gave him back the leather vest.
Mm-hmm.
Brooks Jensen walks up to Josh
Oh,
Briggs right
bro.
after.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
like that little callback because Brooks Jensen and Briggs were a tag team.
Pretty much
Um,
insinuating that it's all Josh's fault.
Yes, which I do believe now could lean into a major character change for Josh Briggs,
Mm-hmm.
which I wouldn't be opposed for. We've seen him. I remember that triple threat match with Dijak, and I think it was Dijak and Obafemi.
Yes, it was that banger, bro.
So like Josh Briggs is sick, bro. Like he's talented. People try to sleep on him a little bit, but maybe that they use that Inamura leaving now as a way to be like, Josh Briggs is the problem, turn heel. We'll see what happens.
Yes.
Toledo Channel dropped another super chat. He's 100 rupees. He says, what's your take on reality of wrestling shows? I think there are some guys on the roster who has a great potential to break out. So if you guys don't know what reality of wrestling is, that is Booker T's promotion,
Mm-hmm.
ROW. ROW is pretty sweet. I know Zilla Fatu's been doing stuff over there.
Zilla and Booker are really good friends.
I don't know if they're good friends or not. I don't know about that, but I know obviously Booker T has a lot of experience with people that have come from the Samoan dynasty. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Definitely gonna show some love to ROW though. I don't know if you remember AQA. Do you remember her?
AQA.
She was in WWE NXT during the pandemic, like black and gold era, late era. She was in AEW. She left
I
AEW.
do. Hold on. I do remember her. Hold on.
Yeah, so AQA just returned to wrestling. We'll see if she comes back to
Yes,
ROW.
yes. I remember her clear as day.
Yeah, she was there, I want to say like before NXT. So I want to say like what, 2018 or 2019?
Yes. Uh-huh. I remember, and she had a stint in AEW, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's where I remember her from. I remember her from AEW.
Yeah. Those were like the early years. I want to say it was like 2020, 2021, something like
Yes, it
that.
was very pandemic.
Ish. ROW definitely has some great talent though. I know Brian Keith came from there. I was trying to think of like one more name that I remember.
Roxanne.
Roxy, yeah,
Yeah,
Roxy.
Roxanne. Yeah.
Roxanne, obviously coming from there. I was trying to think. I'm like, bro, there was like one more name
Yeah,
that I
Roxanne
knew.
comes from there.
Yeah, listen, reality of wrestling is cool. It's in Texas. Booker T is developing talent out there. We have seen WWE NXT talent cross over to reality of wrestling. I think we'll probably see more of that. I think as Booker T grows ROW, we'll see, what happens. But it's tough, man, because like Brian Keith went from Reality of Wrestling all the way to AEW, and now he's doing stuff in AEW. But then you could make the argument that maybe things haven't been that great.
Yeah, my guy
over there.
Sammy G's from there too.
Yeah,
Sammy
yeah,
Guevara, and he's not doing nothing.
yeah. Now, technically, well, he just won quote unquote $100,000 in the Fatal 4-Way match last week, but that's neither here or there. He won kayfabe 100 grand because Tony Khan actually didn't do that because it is a predetermined sport, so that like he didn't really win 100 grand
unless he was like, "Yo, like I'll give you this loan and you got to go have this match."
Yeah, that's not what happened. But yeah, ROW is pretty cool, man. I have nothing against it. Obviously, I'm not from Texas, so I can't watch it, live, like in audience or whatever. But
know about it. Know who come from there.
Yeah, obviously they're a big proponent of WWE ID as well, which is. Listen, what's cool about ROW, if you're a talent over there and you want to come to WWE, Booker T obviously works WWE, NXT, all this good stuff. There's WWE ID.
There's a potential foot in the door.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out to Tolino Channel for the super chat. Phil coming through with $9.99. He says, what I think WWE needs to do is boost the men's division for Oba. No disrespect to Miles and you got to give these young kids a shot, but I feel like that's the reason why they went to TNA, Evolve, and LFG. So, yes and no. I'm going to explain why I actually disagree with Phil. Billy, I'll let you chime in. My simple answer for this is that you have Ricky, you have Shawn, you have Ethan, you have quality talent who could technically be in the spot right now. The problem is you also have to do call-ups. The problem is like a guy like Trick Williams, which we haven't even talked about because there is a story between him and Joe Hendry, and they're making history here, and we will get to that. But the problem is in NXT, I'm actually tired of seeing the most established guy be the world champion. You have to take risk in NXT.
That you do.
And so my belief has kind of changed, actually, and we need to normalize people changing their opinions. But
God forbid.
For me, my biggest concern was, damn, the stories haven't been good for the world title scene. And then you could bring in guys to go for the world title, but it doesn't fix the problem if they're not telling a good story.
Right.
So right now, currently speaking, I think you utilize the partnerships with TNA and Evolve and LFG. Like you do all these things, you feature these talent, and you go about it to make people, one, get exposed to something different because it's new. WWE doesn't do that. But two, identify who deserves a chance. Because at any point in time, if WWE wants, who's to stop them from putting Mike Santana in TNA onto NXT and have him win the world championship?
Right.
It's okay if it means that we're getting something fresh. I personally don't hate it. I don't see it as a problem. And the fact that it's Miles Bourne, who's a young kid who's getting this opportunity, he's young, he's getting over. Much better. Yeah, I think it makes it better. Also, I hate to say this, but I love Obafemi, but him being the world champion, like, it's just the way he freaking looks, bro. The dude's a freaking man beast. Like, who's going to take the belt off of Obafemi?
It's going to be hard to ever make that argument of who can take the belt off of him because there's always, I mean, like you said, he's a man beast.
Yeah, like they don't really have giants in NXT. Now, of course, I do think one thing that we have to acknowledge here, because it is happening at some point, I think Hikuleo is the one who takes the belt off Oba.
We talked about that before.
We did.
Yeah.
So maybe Miles loses, but we split between him and Charlie Dempsey. He gets over. Hikuleo goes face to face with Obafemi. Now you could start stacking it up. But after right now, they just don't have these giants to go up against Obafemi. And I'm sorry, I love Javon Evans, but I don't necessarily expect Javon Evans to go
over on Obafemi.
Yeah.
Yeah, you told me I could chime in. I don't necessarily know if I need to. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Thanks, Billy.
Hey, man. No problem.
I just think it's oh man, like I don't know. To me, it's just I don't mind the TNA thing. I don't mind it. In fact, I remember me and you talking about it being like, I don't recall a TNA guy or a WWE guy winning the other company's belts.
And then finally,
I would do it.
do it. Pull the trigger. Why not?
You have Trick Williams going up against Joe Hendry. Listen, man, I'm not against it. I'm not against Trick Williams winning the TNA World Championship.
Why not?
And then, oh, wow, a Slammiversary, Joe Hendry wins it back. Or, whatever they do. Under Siege,
Right.
this event, that event, whatever.
Why not? Who says no to that?
And then you want to have a TNA guy like Mike Santana is challenging Joe Hendry for the belt. Man, Mike Santana winning the NXT championship and being that he's, I don't know. I think it'd be really dope.
Yeah, for sure. It obviously helps TNA in the long run, right?
Yeah.
Because a guy like Trick Williams, who is very known, right, is holding their championship, toting it around, walking around with it. I mean, good business, ladies and gentlemen. Very simple.
That's what we need. We need them to start changing the titles. And the good thing is, somebody from TNA wins the world championship. And then you have an up and coming kid take the belt off to the person from TNA. These are the headlines, bro. These are, TNA and WWE made history last night. They announced it. Next week, there's a contract signing between Joe Hendry and Trick Williams.
Yeah.
For the first time ever, a TNA World Championship match will take place on a WWE PLE.
Yep.
Sick.
Why not? Love
Sick.
it.
The
It's
whole back
in
and
that
forth,
battleground.
the whole back and forth between Joe Hendry and freaking Trick Williams yesterday was perfect. How did Trick Williams get eliminated? Because he's distracted by Joe Hendry. But you look at the tag team match with Joe Hendry, like, yeah, it's perfect. Hank and Tank are in a 6-man tag against Dark State, and Trick is screwing over Joe. Like, dude, that's just good storytelling, bro.
It is. It is. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Shout out to Phil for the super chat. Right hand Cam dropping $5. He says NXT was solid last night, 8 out of 10. I just didn't like where the matches were placed.
That's a fair argument, I think.
Is it?
Well, considering the Battle Royal, damn, I don't know. Damn, hold on. Because we had Julia and Jordan to end the show, and that was right. And here I was about to make an argument like, oh, the Battle Royal could have went there. No. I don't know, man. I don't know. Because who else? We had Kaylani Jordan and we had Zarya. That felt placed right. You had Carmen Petrovich and Jada Parker. That felt correct. And no, I don't know, man. I thought the matches were placed pretty good. Now, the more that I look at it.
Yeah, I don't personally have an issue with it.
Yeah.
I think when match placement truly matters is pay-per-views. That's when I think it really matters. I don't think last night it really mattered, personally speaking. But I also think of the way the show ended. The women. It's the women again. They're the talking point. So
they are over in NXT, man. They're really the highlight of the show.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really have an issue with it. Personally speaking, I don't have an issue with it.
I'll agree.
But I guess if that's your only complaint, like that's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Like that would be a pretty good complaint. So shout out to right hand Cam for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you, my boy. Salino Channel coming through with 100 rupees. He says the only way Oba could drop the title will be in a ladder match. That way even a smaller guy has a chance to grab the gold. Yeah. It has to be like a gimmick match, multi-man match.
Yeah, like you have to give him a solid reason for losing the title.
Yeah, and everybody takes him out, and then Javon Evans climbs the ladder and wins.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, do you agree with my opinion that Javon Evans is a future world champion?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Do you agree with my opinion from yesterday where I said he's like the next RVD / Jeff Hardy?
Yeah.
Dude, this kid is going to be something special. I freaking loved him in this freaking Battle Royal.
Like, he is the best way to describe Javon Evans is he's going to be one, like I said, I think I said it yesterday, that the kids are just going to love.
Yeah.
They're going to enjoy his presence every time he's on the screen. I mean, you want to talk about a guy who's going to be a natural baby face? It's Javon Evans, and it's going to work for him.
Yeah.
Very excited for him.
He gives me the Jeff Hardy vibe. He's amazing, bro. I don't know. It's one thing when you see Jay Malachi in the Indies and you watch him on DPW, and then you see him go to NXT and you're like, okay, well, I'm curious to see how he translates over there. And then he goes out there and kills it and constantly gets better. And the thing is, this battle royal, what was so cool about it was it could have been so easy for WWE to give us the same old thing. And they didn't. They gave us something new. And it's nice to be genuinely surprised.
Yeah.
And that's why I think I loved it so much. And that's why I think it is a little bit harder with Oba Femi. Because with the women's division, it's so easy to say, oh, Jordan Grace is women's champion. Zarya is going to be women's champion. Fallon Henley could be women's champion. Like, all these women are propped up in such a way where it's like they all make sense. In the men's division, it isn't necessarily like that. Because right now we're thinking, okay, Ethan Page probably getting drafted. Ricky Saints probably not going to be in NXT much longer, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, like, Shawn Spears is going to stick around in NXT, but he doesn't really need to hold the world title. So
No.
he's there to develop others. So that's why it's a little bit harder. I will say this, because I do think maybe Wesley gets called up to the main roster as well, but I wouldn't be opposed if they did like a multi-man match and like our triple threat match, Wesley, Javon, and Oba or something like that. And then maybe Wesley, if he's going to stick around in NXT, he pins Javon and wins the world championship. Because technically Oba doesn't have to be a ladder match. It just has to be a multi-person match where he's not getting pinned. And I don't think WWE wants Oba to get pinned. I think they do want him to be undefeated, and that's the problem. I think we saw it at one point with Braun Breaker, where it was like, damn, all he does is win, 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 win. We never see him face any adversity. Oh, he's being shoved down our throat. It's a risky game to play, and you got to be careful with how you do it with Oba Femi, because
right, exactly. You have to be careful here.
Yeah.
You have to make him human.
Yeah.
You have to. At some point, it's just like you said, you can't protect a guy forever. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. Shout out to Tolino Channel for the super chat. Appreciate it, bro. If you guys have more questions, comments, please drop them in the super chat. We will definitely be reading them. I know Phil, who is a member on our channel, said you shouldn't want Oba to get pinned. The thing is, if he's doing the job and putting somebody over,
then I'm happy with it.
Yeah, like if he's just taking the pin for no reason, it's completely different. But if he is getting pinned and he's putting over Miles Bourne, for example, and then he moves straight up to the main roster.
Well, he's another person that you make the pin when it happens. It's supposed to be special, kind of like Gunther, right? Yeah. When Gunther tapped, it was very special. When Gunther got pinned, it was very special. You know what I mean? It doesn't happen often, but when it does happen, it's elevating somebody to another level. Yeah. And that's going to be the importance here.
Yeah. No, that's true.
Yeah.
We do have a little bit of breaking news that I want to pull up here.
Yes.
So I
love when this happens.
Let's pull this up.
I get to be a part of the breaking news.
Yes. Oh, this one's going to be a fun one to discuss.
Let's go.
So, image. Ladies and gentlemen, El Grande Americano has won the WWE Speed Championship. And we got to talk about it really quick because it's so random and so crazy.
They filmed this the other day because I seen this.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, obviously they obviously pre-tape it. I don't look at WWE Speed spoilers. I just watch it on Twitter because
it just popped up on Twitter.
Yeah. I didn't see the spoiler, but El Grande Americano's champion. Freaking El Grande Americano got a belt before our boy Chad Gable. Isn't that insane?
Ain't that some shit, dude? I'm mad. How they give him the belt before Chad Gable?
Yeah.
Bro, that's so lame.
Yeah.
Chad deserved it more.
Dude, it's so funny. He beat Dragon Lee.
Oh my God.
The WWE Speed Championship doesn't mean anything. It doesn't appear on
No,
WWE programming.
but he's
It's
got a belt.
yeah, it's got a belt. He's got a belt. And obviously Twitter, social media is where everybody is talking mad shit about El Grande Americano. So obviously this is gonna be this is gonna be yeah, you know, this is
El
gonna
Grande
be highly
Americano
debated.
is he's the champ though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's the champ before Chad Gable. He's got a belt before Penta. He's got a belt before Ray Phoenix.
He's the greatest luchador, bro.
He's the greatest luchador, man. Technically, right now, where it stands, he is.
Trevon Womakis in the chat said, y'all see that sign that said El Grande Americano is a DEI hire? No, I did not see that.
No, I didn't. He's no longer billed from the Gulf of America. He's now at the Gulf of Mexico.
So they caved into the outrage.
Yeah, they did.
Interesting. That's interesting because I think on Google Maps it literally says Gulf of America. I'm just saying if Google did it, then WWE. I'm shocked that WWE kind of, you know, Apple and Google have Gulf of America. I don't know.
Do they? Do they now?
Yeah.
I haven't checked.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine. Maybe WWE just they saw the outrage and we're like, yeah, it's not that big of a deal, bro. We'll fucking change it. But
right. But
yeah.
still,
Yeah.
this is great. I love it. I love this for El Grande Americano. He deserves it, man.
He's a champion, baby.
He's been working his tail off for this. You know,
what
that WrestleMania victory, right?
Yeah.
Over a great luchador. Today beat a great luchador. Well deserved, man.
Do you think they have El Grande Americano wrestle on Worlds Collide? I'm being for real. No, I'm being serious. Do you think
I know, bro. I know you're being serious. Yeah, bro. Do it. I think it would be a letdown if they didn't.
You know, I think that's where they should do a mask versus mask match, and El Grande Americano gets unmasked.
Should be at Worlds Collide.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Have a AAA guy beat him.
Dude, my girl, her and I were talking. She was like, what if it's not Chad Gable?
It's Cody Rhodes. Where was the outrage when Cody Rhodes wore the mask?
It didn't exist.
Fuego too, bro.
Oh, Fuego. Did you see Fuego got unmasked?
I know, but Fuego too. Do you remember?
Oh my God! Fuego? Yes. Oh my God! And Sammy's vlogs too. Oh my God,
bro. Hold on, because people obviously don't know about this. If it took you that long,
Too Fast, Too Fuego. I remember they were the tag team, bro. They were wrestling on Dark.
For those who think I'm lying. Cody and Fuego del Sol.
Bro, so I love Fuego, just so everybody's aware. I've been a long time watcher of the Sammy Guevara vlogs.
Yeah, and now he's no longer.
No, he's KJ Orso.
Yeah,
Fuego died. I'm actually hurt.
But where was the outrage for this?
It didn't exist. Into the sun, Too Fast, Too Fuego.
I don't know, bro. I think people take too much of this shit way too serious. It's not that deep. It's not that deep.
It'll never be that deep.
Yo, but we got to talk about this too because our good friend Jose Martinez dropped a super chat for $1.99. He says, "What's your thoughts on Benjamin Shelton?"
Oh, good. Oh my God, these questions are great today.
So, what's your thoughts,
bro? Get Hulk Hogan away from a goddamn camera.
This guy is something else, huh?
Wasn't he Brock Lesnar's first opponent back
after
from the UFC?
He be lying, bro. He be lying about a lot of shit. I'll have to offer some clarification here as to what is happening because maybe you guys are unaware.
Yeah, offer the clarification.
So, for those who are unaware here, what is going on is that Hulk Hogan was on Pat McAfee's show. He was on TMZ Sports. He'd be talking and talking and talking. And then he talks about Shelton Benjamin. Long story short, Shelton Benjamin goes on Twitter and basically calls him out for the speech that he did backstage. It was his apology speech, but basically telling the wrestlers don't get caught.
Yeah.
And then what ends up coming from that is Shelton Benjamin says that he's basically lying, like don't act like they had some sort of camaraderie backstage when that wasn't the case. They didn't have a relationship backstage in WWE.
Right.
So my personal thoughts is this: Hulk Hogan be lying a lot. I never liked Hulk Hogan growing up as a kid. Forget about the personal
I'll tell you
stuff.
what, I was never a Hulkamaniac.
Yeah, like let me just throw this out there. As a kid, didn't care for him. I don't know what else there is to say. On a personal level, I don't know the dude personally. He got caught saying dumb shit, and he's not apologetic for it. That's his fault.
It is, especially in this day and age. You know
No,
what I
it
mean?
doesn't matter the day and age, bro. You say stupid shit, apologize for it, and be genuine
Yeah,
about
bro,
it, and like, yeah,
it's don't be an asshole.
yeah. People make mistakes. You can apologize and own up to your mistake. And honestly, if he would have done that, I think a lot of people probably would have been like, "Hey, man, like we appreciate it. It seems sincere, you know."
Right.
But when you're not sincere,
And you're just
and you,
going out there and just acting as if it never happened.
yeah,
Yeah, people are going to hate you. It's been F Hulk Hogan for a long time over here. Just to make that clear.
yeah, I just never
Genuinely,
liked the dude.
I
I never
never
liked him
liked
as a
him.
wrestler. I never saw the hype into him. I remember at one point in the live stream, I did tell you I was like, the only time I liked Hulk Hogan was when he was Mr. America.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, you know, that's
Hogan sucks. Shelton Benjamin is amazing.
he's a great talent, bro.
He is. He is. Dude still never won a world championship. That hurts.
Yeah, and he's probably not going to win one in AEW, but he still
No.
wants to.
Yeah, I know. He talked about it on Chris Van Vliet's
Yeah.
show. But yeah, I mean that's a guy who genuinely like I look at and I'm like, man, like he should have, especially in this. Now I'm just getting off topic for a second, but especially because they gave RVD a championship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. It happens, bro. But it's tough too because Shelton Benjamin, people forget, like being part of the ruthless aggression era. That I mean, there was like as soon as
All
we
the
hit,
top stars were still there.
yeah, it was too bloated and too.
Mhm.
He's a victim of very good talent, bloated roster, and then obviously in the later years of WWE, it's like, are you really going to put the belt on him, or are you going to put it on Roman Reigns? Like,
Yeah, it's the definition of time passes you by sometimes.
yeah. And obviously, Shelton Benjamin's a better in-ring worker than Roman Reigns, but Roman Reigns is the better performer, better storyteller, better draw. It's like you don't just give Shelton Benjamin a world title. Like there is a method to the business, right? Like there is a reason why somebody carries the world title.
For sure.
Even in AEW, like in order for him to be world champion, he has to break away from the Hurt Syndicate. He has to really become his own thing.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to do that when the company right now desperately like they have to get the belt off Moxley? You got to put it on someone huge that's like a babyface representation for your company. Shelton could be that guy. He
For
has the
sure.
potential, but like they're not. What I'm trying to say is they're not positioning him as that potential next guy, like they are with maybe like Will Ospreay or like they have with Swerve Strickland. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But awesome talent. And so, Jose Martinez, thank you for the super chat. What I meant to say is my thoughts were actually regarding Shelton Benjamin, not Benjamin Shelton. I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah, wasn't Hulk Hogan playing guitar for Metallica too?
That's bro. He'd be lying. He'd be lying, bro.
Just a lie.
This guy be lying like crazy. I don't know how he gets. Well, he doesn't really get away with it, but he kind of does.
I mean, he just goes out there and says it. Dude's a
Oh
bum.
my god, that guy is something else.
He's a bum.
Yeah. Any final thoughts, Billy?
No, man, I have nothing. I thought NXT was a great show. We watched it on live yesterday. Overall, definitely did everything for me that I needed it to do. So obviously we've seen Miles Bourne. That's amazing. Julia and Jordan Grace, they're outstanding, right? We're getting the TNA World Championship. We got guys from Evolve. We covered it all today on the Ango show. If you guys don't know, I will be live on Friday. So definitely be sure to subscribe to my channel and come join the watch alongs. Billy TKO, man.
Oh, cool. Hey, are you going to Dynamite tonight in Detroit?
No, are you?
No. Should I look up tickets really quick?
Yeah, if you want to.
Let's see. Excuse me. I'm not telling you guys where I'm checking out the tickets because none of these companies pay me for shit.
You said, but I'm a look.
I'm gonna look at them and I'm gonna tell you guys what they cost. So let's see.
I looked earlier.
Cheapest ticket all the way at the back is $80 with no fees.
Yeah.
$80. And then if you want to sit on like the main row, which is lower level, $99.
It's not the worst thing in the world. It's not 80,000, you know?
It's just such a weak card.
Yeah, I know.
It's a very weak card. And after, I mean, people are going to think this is where Ango is negative, but last time I was at AEW Dynamite in Detroit, we had the Don Callis heel turn on Kenny.
Were you there for that?
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah, I was a guest of AEW. A lot of people don't know that.
Tony Khan's best friend for real.
Yeah. No, it's listen, I'm gonna be honest. Last time I was invited and it was a fun show. Terrible storytelling throughout the night, but very fun show in terms of the wrestling, the matches.
What is the card tonight?
Samoa Joe versus Claudio. I don't know. It's not a great card, to be honest. Will Ospreay promo. Plus you got to remember they're doing Collision tomorrow. But like Rhino's gonna be there tonight. I don't care. I love Rhino. But like I've seen Rhino a million times live, especially being in Detroit. So like,
yeah,
it's not.
So are you gonna go to Collision tomorrow?
Let's see. Tickets are much, much cheaper.
Are they?
And there is plenty of tickets for sale. Third row is $797 for Collision. You know, I would not spend that money for a Collision.
No, not a shot.
Now, the cheapest ticket there for the same seats as the other one on the balcony, literally like the last row, it's $51.
Yeah, I mean, not expensive. Not crazy.
I'm good on that, bro. I don't think listen, I'm just gonna be honest. Like, I'm not trying to be negative Nancy, but
here's the thing. I'm not gonna go to a wrestling show just to go to a wrestling show.
Yeah, because dude, the thing is, like, I learned my lesson from SummerSlam.
Boom.
I learned my lesson from SummerSlam. I had amazing seats, and then I had a guy 7'5" sitting right in front of me on the floor. I couldn't see shit.
That was me at the live event in December.
Yeah, like I said, like I'm straight, bro.
I'll never try and sit in the front row again.
SummerSlam was such a blast, just like going to an AEW show. Like you have fun, but I don't know, man. There's something about being comfortable sitting at home, and I'm trying to watch Evolve, bro. I'm trying, and I'll tell you, the last show I went to AEW, people walked out. People walked out during the show. People were leaving during AEW last time they came to Detroit. I was there. I saw it with my own eyes. And very specifically, I remember that when I was watching, the first time they came was Blood and Guts. Phenomenal.
Yeah. Oh God.
Right?
Yeah.
But I remember even last time people were leaving, and then it got to Rampage, and almost everybody had left. So just for some context, it is, I don't know, Masonic Temple's smaller. I don't really care for the venue too much. $80 to go sit in the final row. Nah, I'm good, bro.
He said, I'm good. I'm good.
I'm good. Listen, I'm sorry, man. They just not making compelling TV, and I talk with my money. I don't talk with just my mouth, and I don't think I want to support that product right now. And maybe if the card was a little bit better, let me pull it up on.
Yeah, I don't even know the card.
I'll pull it up from AEW. So tonight we got Ricochet and the Young Bucks versus Speedball, Mark Briscoe, and Swerve. Yeah, that'll be fun. Cool match. Samoa Joe versus Claudio. Don't care. We have Okada versus I want to say LA Knight, but obviously that's not LA Knight. Why am I fucking up his first name, bro? Oh my god.
What's his name?
Knight. What's Knight's first name?
My
God, why am I fucking it up, bro? I watch him literally in TNA and New Japan. What the fuck's wrong with me? Kevin Knight.
Jesus.
Yeah. I don't care to see Okada. We have Tony Storm, Thunder Rosa, Penelope Ford, and Anna Jay. Don't care. Will Ospreay's cutting a promo.
I know there's a gentleman in this chat right now potentially having a heart attack.
Well, please don't.
I said heart attack. That's rude. I did not mean heart attack.
Yeah. Isn't it sad I forgot Kevin Knight's name? Who, by the way, is fucking awesome. He's super talented. He's super sick. And he's actually been really awesome to watch in AEW. But he's going to verse Okada for a Continental Championship Eliminator, which is basically a fuck you to all of us because we know their plan is, all in Okada versus Kenny, title for title. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't foresee myself going. Maybe ticket prices drop tonight, and I'd be like, okay, it's worth it. But I'm not really interested.
But it's the day of. If they were going to drop, they would have already dropped.
I'm just not interested. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of tickets are available, though. So that goes to tell you.
For sure.
Yeah, we'll see.
Sure. We'll see.
We'll see. Who knows? I think that's the
show.
I think that's it, bro. I think that's it.
Are we going to do backlash predictions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably do that. What's today? Wednesday?
Yeah. Do we do them Friday? Or do we do them tomorrow?
I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
Probably Friday.
I thought Friday. Friday is like a good day.
Yeah, I feel like that's when we typically do predictions.
Yeah. Backlash predictions on Friday.
Yeah. All right, cool. Shout out to everybody who came through. Shout out to everybody showing love. Shout out to Phil, Tolino Channel, Right Hand Cam, Jose Martinez for all of your super chats, fellas. Thank you all for your support. Shout out to everybody who is engaged in the chat. Yeah, I'm super excited. We'll be back tomorrow, 12 p.m. Like I said, a lot of things we're working on with the live stream. We're going to figure out. We're going to get it firing on all cylinders. We're about to
figure this thing out, baby.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good. And I'll be watching Evolve tonight, and then I'll maybe watch Dynamite. We'll see. I'll get it maybe recorded and figure that out. Cool. Billy TKO, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter. Make sure you guys check them out. Ango PW, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter. Yeah. Appreciate y'all for coming. We'll see you guys next time.